Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, it's all about that strength, it's all about that courage, it's all about that wisdom. Good evening, I'm Carolyn Jones with Chance of a Lifetime Coaching. And tonight, it is Conversations with Carolyn. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Conversations with Carolyn. So I trust that your week has been a great week. Hey, I'm going to give a few moments. I want you to tag somebody. Let somebody know that we are on the air. Yes. Let somebody know that we are on the air. And that's India Irie, strength, courage, and wisdom. Sometimes you got to have faith. You got to have faith to make it. You got to have that insight. You got to have that confidence. You have to have that spirit. So where is yours on today? Where's your spirit on today? What are you stepping out on today? Yeah. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Strength, courage, and wisdom. All along. That's right. Your strength, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of you all along. This is not my music. I don't own the rights to this music, but this is India. I agree. Strength, courage, and wisdom. All right, get yours about you tonight. Where is your strength? Where's your courage? Where's your wisdom? All right, let's invite some people in tonight. Let somebody know that we are here. Yeah, we're here. We got a great conversation coming up tonight, so you don't want to miss this conversation. Yeah, let somebody know we're out here. Tag somebody, share, like. That's right. Yeah. Hit that like button if you're out there on YouTube. Hit that like button. You're out there on Facebook. Hit the like. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Let me know that you are out there. Oh, yes. Where's your strength? Where is your courage? Where is your wisdom on this wonderful Wednesday evening? Trust that many of you have had a great day at work, a great day at home, a great day at school, a great day in meditation, a great day at peace, a great day doing nothing but enjoying self. And I just trust that whatever your day engaged, that you were able to make it matter, that you were able to make it matter the most with everything that resonates inside of you, so you can have that peace. Peace. Let it be. Let it be. All right. Yeah. Sway with me tonight. Let the music just hit you. Strength. It's been inside of you all along. It's been inside of me all along. Strength, courage, and wisdom. All right. India Irie. She says she found it. Have you found your strength? Have you found your courage? Have you found the wisdom to move on? Good evening once again. I am Carolyn Jones here with Chance of Lifetime Coaching. And this evening it's Conversations with Carolyn. Well, we had a scheduled guest on tonight, Crystal Plummer. As many of you that tuned in last week, we experienced a horrific set of internet and connectivity issues, but we have already moved on to another platform. We're moved on to another place, and so we're making it happen, and we're making it work. So Crystal is unfortunately unable to be with us on tonight. And so we want to lift Crystal and just send great vibes and great thoughts her way tonight. And I just wanted to come on tonight and just have a conversation about everything that's going on. We're talking about things that's going on around us. We're talking about things that are affecting where we are, what we do, and how we do it. We're talking about things that we have no control of. Yet we are talking about things that we do have a little bit of control of. So tonight it's interesting moment that we're taking to just kind of place on the platform tonight how it is that we move about in doing what we need to do. How is it that we stay steadfast in keeping hold to the truth of knowing things are better? Things are going to get better. Things are greater. I'm in the momentum for being great. I'm in the best place of my life. How is it that you stand the truth in spite of all the storms? How is it that you can stand after wavering through all of the tragedies, but you're still standing today? You still have a great awareness about who you are, what your purpose to do, and how you're going to get through it. So tonight we're just going to share some things about how is it that you are able to stand? How is it that you are able to do what you do and do it well? How is it that you are able to take this heart of yours and keep it pure in spite of all the different negativities and things that have come in your life? But you have an opportunity today to make it matter and to make it count. So I just want to hear from you tonight. If you're out there and you're listening, drop a heart, drop in the comments where you're calling, where you're listening and able to hear the broadcast on tonight. Where are you when as you're tuning in to conversations with Carolyn? And just give us a little tidbit of how is it that you stay stable? How do you keep your mind sane? How do you stay at peace in the midst of all the things that's happening? Well, one thing about it, it is certain that we have to be powerful in confidence and in faith. We have to be powerful and confidence in faith. That's right. I'm going to say it again. We have to be powerful and confident in faith. Our faith of the Most High having everything that we need. A lot of times we find ourselves, and I know I'm guilty of this, of having a situation. And because the situation is before me, I'm going through of course, I lift it up to the Most High, but instead of leaving it and allowing the process to take place, I find myself often finding resources and researching ways, techniques, strategies. Okay, I can do it like this. I can do it like this. I can gravitate. I can do it. And all of that to no avail. And then I have to just sit back and okay, whew, I've exhausted God. Okay, I can't go. It's left. I can't do anymore. Oh, and it's at that moment that you really relinquish and you give that up to God. You give that up to the Most High. You give that up. And then you like, I'm tired. But it's in that moment when God moves in. He's already there, but he was waiting on you to give it up a long time ago. He was waiting on me to give it up a long time ago. But I held on to it because I thought that I had to do it. I'm so used to making making all the right decisions. I'm so used to being superwoman and coming in and snatching up and rescuing. And God said, no more, no more. The Most High showed me, He said, all you have to do is stay confident in the power that resonates inside of you. Stay confident in the power that resonates inside of you. And one thing I found out about lately, I've been really, really researching a lot of things as plants versus medicine, herbs versus pills. I'm in a place now where I really, really want to complete healing. And when I talk about complete healing, I'm talking about mind, body, soul. I'm talking about every part of my being. I want that healing. And so as I'm going about and finding out things about the healing process, I realized that healing starts with the heart. And there's so much that goes on in our heart that we don't even take a moment to really think about how vast this circulatory system is and how intricate it is to us, to our body, to what it means, how we live and breathe. I mean, actually, our heart depicts how we live. So when was the last time that you really just thought about my heart and am I taking good care of my heart? And when the last time you just thought about, am I really, really okay? Am I okay? And it does, where it comes from. It comes from your heart. Okay. Because your heart stimulates the mind. Your heart stimulates the once you stimulate the mind, then the mind stimulates the movement. So building a courageous heart is something that I just kind of want to talk about tonight, just real briefly, in understanding how our heart is such a valuable part of our well-being. It's a valuable part of who we are. And in that, there are plants that can constitute to healing our heart. That's right. There are plants. Now, but in no means my alternative is a fix or a cure or a directive to your health. If you're seeing a practitioner, you're seeing a doctor, I'm not telling you to stop doing what you're doing and do what I'm doing. I am offering you an alternative for you to research, share with your physicians and your team, your health team, to see if this is a best or good or best practice for you. And I'm actually sharing some information from Karen Rose. She's a Black herbalist. She's originally from Ghana, but she shares how being able to come in tune with her heart saved her. And she's able to share this with the masses. And it's called the Spiritual Herbalism Companion. So one thing about what we do, everything we do has a spirit, and there is the spirit of the heart. So in talking about spiritual herbalism, we're talking about how the spirit can help transform, it can help heal, and the power of the plants and the ancestral medicine is what brought us through a whole lot of diseases and darknesses from way back when. I can remember when there were certain times that if somebody was sick, our grandmother would say, "Go out there and get this out of the yard, and uh, go get that bark off that tree." And as a kid, you were like, why is grandmother getting a bark off the tree? Why don't nobody want to eat that grass? But there was something in that. If someone's out there, if you're in there in the chat and you can remember the name, it was a grass. It wasn't greens. It wasn't the mustard greens. It was oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But it was a green. It looked like a leaf. It looked like lettuce. But actually, what that was a healing herb, and they would boil it and make a tea. And when they made that tea, it soothed the ailment of whatever was going on. I can remember when we had upset stomachs, my grandmother, she would take um, the bark from the tree and boil it, stir it up, and then sometime they would add a little flour to it and make a prescription for us to drink. I mean, it was medicine, but it was plant, it was earth medicine. And what it did, it would heal the diarrhea, it would heal the stomach. And there's so many other different uh, herbs and plants that heal people from time to time. And I know that at some point you can resonate, with it about what it is that we are saying. Our heart is a muscle, and if we ignore it, it becomes silent and atrophied. And what that means, it becomes hardened, and it becomes not functional. And by the time we see the physical signs of our hearts hardening, we've already been in the practice of denying our heart for some time. And if many of you are like myself, I've witnessed time after time after time again that something happens. It automatically, you grab your heart. A devastating event experience, we grab our heart, and before we know it, our heart is hurting, and we call it anxiety or whatever. But that's because our heart is a muscle, and our heart have to be tended to. And as I was talking about in my grandmother's day, in our old days, even in the indigenous healing cultures, I mean, our ancestors, heart problems signal discontent, it signal unhappiness. And that happens when we make all of our decisions from a rational or logical place. So that means we are making decisions that where we're keeping up with the expectations of others. We're making decisions that's been based on a practicum or regulations by someone else or some other entity or by some system. And making decisions from our heads and not our hearts leads to disconnection. So it's important that every decision that we make is a decision that we make with our heart and then with our head. Each time we override what we feel in our hearts with logic and reason, our heart shrinks more. Yes, our heart shrinks more. So we have to be real careful about how it is that we suppress our emotions. We suppress our inner light. I mean, we have to be eager to be expressive. We have to be eager and ready to be as vibrant as our heart it can allow us to be. We are light. We are the light. And when we don't take care of our heart, what happens? Our light dims, our light shine, and it becomes blocked. And what happened? Our peace becomes blocked. So we have to be conscious tonight about listening to the spirit of our heart. We have to tap into our heart's leadership, listen and be led by its answers. Our heart really can give us answers. So we have to make it a practice to move fearlessly with what our hearts want. Yeah, we have to move fearlessly with what our hearts want. Our lives change when we move from heart-centered places and meaning. We listen our heart's desires and center them all in our daily decision. Heart-centeredness can occur all the time. It's got to be right here in the center, not just when sitting or in meditation. You can center your heart simply by listening to your heart, uplifting its value and the importance of it being in your life. If you know that something is not right with your heart, if you know every time you talk to this person, your spirit get down, and every time you have an interaction with this person, y'all end up feuding, arguing about something. The sky is blue. No, it's yellow. But we can clearly see the sky is blue and white and not blue and yellow. So there are many, many things that happens, and we find ourselves just being over anxious. We find ourselves being depressed because we can't fix the problem. We find ourselves being depressed because we want something that problem is not giving us. And at the end of the day, we have to practice to making our heart what our heart really needs to be. So, as I said, if you're out there, drop me a like, drop me a heart. If you're out there, I want you to share this with someone and practice the heart. And it helps us to connect to the heart every day. And I want to talk a little bit about the spirit of our circulatory system. The sun guides our circulatory system. Sometimes I like to just go out, sit in the sun. You know, we used to say, used to be bombarded with, they used to tell us, well, son, you have skin cancer. Well, as melanin people, I have researched to find that skin cancer is not as prevalent to the melanin people because we need the vitamin E. We need that vitamin E to help heal almost everything in our body. I remember when I had the shingles, and even though the medicines that they had given me, the pharmaceuticals, was taking longer to really get in my system and do what it needed to do. And I went and sat out in the sun for at least 30 minutes every day. And when I went out and sat in that sun, and that sun soaked me up, you know, I didn't have any shades on because I realized I needed that sun to hit the melanin of my eyes. But I went and I sat in that sun for at least 30 minutes a day, and my shingles began to dry up. My shingles began to ease up, and eventually the healing process seemed to have been moved faster by me going out, sitting in the sun, and letting that sun just soak up all that disease, because that's what everything is about. Our body not being at ease, it diseased. So we have the diseases that they've given to us. But for every disease that we have, there is a plant that is a cure. And tonight I want to talk about the plant that can heal the heart. And tonight, we just want to just kind of really touch on the fact that our hearts and our minds need a balanced relationship. You can tell your heart what you want your heart to know, what you want your heart to feel. All of that good stuff is the value of our heart and how we can open it up in everything that we do. And so one of the things that I find myself doing throughout, just finding some good research, finding some good stuff, and that was in talking to my heart, right? So one of the things that I found myself doing was asking, where do I want my heart? What do I want my heart to eat today? What do I want my heart to wear today? What do I want my heart to do today? Where do I want my heart to go today? So think about that real quick. How many times do we actually just talk to our heart? How many times do we actually just say, okay, what does my heart want to eat today? If we consciously ask ourselves, what does my heart want to eat today? Then I will be conscious of feeding my body the good greens, feeding my body lots of water and fluids, feeding my body fruits and succumbing the herbs of the teas, instead of going to the soft drinks, instead of grabbing a Coke, instead of grabbing a Dr. Pepper, I'll grab me a cup of tea. Now I will have to say, still holding on to that coffee. So I know I need to separate the amount of coffee that I intake so that I can make my heart better. There's some reports that says coffee is good for the heart, but it's the coffee in the beans, and it's a certain kind of beans. It can't be processed coffee. So I have to really get a little bit more educated and enlightened on the fact of how it is that I drink my coffee. I do drink it black now. I don't excuse me, I don't use any creams. I don't use any sugars. Every blue moon, I might add a little honey, might do raw sugar, but most of the time I'm drinking my coffee black. So I'm getting better. I just have to drink less because once again, what does my heart want to eat today? If I tell myself my heart cannot take all of the sugar, all of the cinnamon rolls, all of this and all of that, then I'm in a place where I can be healed. Because what? I'm healing my heart. What do I want? What does my heart want to wear today? I'm a prime advocate. I mean, I'm a soul advocate. If you look good, you feel good, right? So I look at it, and I don't mean look good to everybody else's standards. I mean looking good to me. So when I look in that mirror, and when I can see, okay, I got my hair wrapped tight. All right, I got my face washed. What do I want? Brown lipstick? Do I want red? Whatever. What earrings am I going to wear? Are these earrings going to complement the dress that I have on? Is this dress going to make me feel comfortable? Am I going to be tugging? Am I going to be wondering, oh, how does this look? No, your heart wears what makes you feel comfortable, because if you're wearing something that make you look good and feel good, your heart is going to be in a good place because it's not over excited, and that's not over anxious. It's not worried about, am I looking good, am I this, am I that, because you're looking good, you're feeling good, so you're releasing all of those morphones that's going to make you feel good. So what does your heart want to wear today? What does your heart want to do? It's really, really good to preempt what it is that you're going to do. It's really, really good to preempt and get prepared for what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how you're going to feel doing it. And that's where meditation and visualization and mindfulness come in. Because once you think on something, it becomes. Have you ever thought about a person and thought, well, I wonder what so and so doing today? And your phone rings and it's that so and so on the phone. Yeah. You can say, oh, I wonder what John's doing today. John calls. And you're like, wow, telepathy. Wow, man. Well, it's frequency. It's about what you bring to your mind is what you bring to your life. And I'm practicing that. And I'm able to see a lot of things coming into fruition because I'm mindful about what I think about. I'm intentional. I'm intentional about the thoughts that lie here so that it can balance with my heart, head and heart. It has to be a balance, head and heart. So that's another thing that we really want to keep in focus. And where does your heart want to go? Are you going to go to a place where it's going to be chaotic, lots of confusion? Well, I know sometimes if we go in the workplace, there may be chaos and confusion. But here's how you go. What goes back, what are you going to do? How are you going to preempt? You're going to plan. When you go, know that you are going and facing this chaotic situation, then you give yourself scenarios, 1, 2, 3 scenarios. Well, today I'm just going to go to my office. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to do my work. Today, I'm going to go to my office. I'm going to go to the break room when it's designated time to go to the break room. I'm going to take my breaks. I'm not going to work all the way through because I have to have a mental focus to balance out with my professional focus. Okay. So no, I'm not going to stay in my office all day to avoid people, but I'm going to think of ways. Okay. If so-and-so say this to me, how will I react? Okay. So that means I'm going to have to come up with a response or a rebuttal that's not going to make me mad, anxiety flying everywhere, me want to cuss and fuss. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's when you ask your heart, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go today? What do you want to do? Have you ever just asked yourself some of those things? Well, that's why today I just wanted to have a conversation and just kind of bring to light some of the things that Karen Rose talks about in her book. And the book is The Spiritual Herbalism Companion. And I she talks about the circulatory heart it is composed of more than 60,000 miles of blood vessels, which carry blood through the body and back to the heart. Imagine that 60,000 miles of blood vessels flowing through your body, and it goes where? Straight back to the heart. So that blood circulation is very, very essential. It's very critical to provide our bodies with oxygen and remove our cells' carbon dioxide. The circulatory system is one of the major networks in our body to distribute nutrients and hormones, move our white blood cells, and transports platelets to injury sites to repair damaged tissue. Look at that. This heart does a whole lot. The circulatory system is a system of nourishment, communication, and defense. So we have to be real mindful, intentional about healing our hearts and being able to don't be so worried about being a perfectionist all the time. You got to have it like this, you got to have it like that, because it brings high blood pressure and some other things that are not good for the heart. So here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to offer today just some alternatives for what plants and what we could do to heal the heart and make sure that we have a balanced healing. The circulatory system requires fire, and the plants that bring healing are fiery ones. So it's the cayenne pepper, it's the garlic, it's the hawthorn. Yes, it is. These Mars and fire plants heal a cold, disconnected heart and breathe life and light back into the body after trauma. Fire plants help us establish connection with ourselves. In their own distinct ways, each of these plants connects us to flow and joy and helps us move from a heart centered place. Plants guided by Ogun fortify, protect, and give courage to our childlike hearts. They help us create protection for our hearts from the inside, allowing us to be vulnerable and step forward into our passion. And that's what I wanted to drive home today. Our hearts help us move forward in our passion, our biggest dreams. A lot of times we've been dreaming for too long. Wake up out of the dream. It's time to wake up out of the dream. How can we wake up out of that dream? We have to do something we've never done before. We have to step outside of that box and create and brand ourselves in a way that we've never been branded before. I often say, I don't ever want to go back to what I was. I don't want to ever say, oh, I just want to get me back just because of sick. No. Move me to a place, elevate me to a place that's better than I've ever been before. I want to be moved to a place I've never gone to before, because there's so much light in me. There's so much more passion in me. And because of that, I am ready to move. That's what made me decide, okay, how do I move from medicine to plants? How do I move from pills to herbs? And this is what I'm sharing with you. I just wanted to bring this conversation to light tonight because somebody may need a little cayenne on tonight. So when we're looking at cayenne, we're talking about the pepper. It's called red pepper, bird pepper, fruit of the sun. But cayenne's medicine brings movement and transformation. It's a fast acting catalyst that is dynamic in waking up the body processes. It reawakens cold, disconnected hearts that have been traumatized or frozen. Cayenne can be used for heart attack and shock. It brings us bring its user back to their body and can be helpful for trauma, fear, shock, or soul loss. A lot of times we just have things in the loss of a significant other, the loss of a family member, the loss of a friend, the loss of a job, the loss of a pet. When we lose something, that becomes traumatic. And a lot of times the medicine just is put in place to kind of give us the temporary fix. But if we're looking at plants, the plant is giving us a root of healing, a root of alienation from the diseased body. So the cayenne takes our breath away, frees our action, and can allow us to be present, turning energy into action. You see what I'm saying? You remember we talked about it being stepping forward into our passion. Then we're talking about the cayenne bringing energy into action. That means we've been dreaming too long. It's time to wake up out of the dream and let's be proactive. Let's do something about getting to where we need to be. How are we going to do that? A lot of times, people, I'm spiritual. And so I look at a lot of spiritual meanings. So with cayenne, you can use it as a medicinal dose, 1/8 teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon cayenne in your food, water, juice, or soup. You can stir it in a shot glass with apple cider vinegar or grape juice and drink it as a heart tonic. So once again, you can create this tonic by, it's going to be 1/8 teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne, and you can use it in your water, food, juice, or your soup. Okay, and you also can stir into a shot glass your apple cider vinegar, your grape juice, or any kind of drink, and use it as a heart tonic. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We can look at 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne. You can put that in your water, your food, your juice, or your soup. Or you can stir it in a shot glass with your apple cider vinegar, and you can drink it as a heart tonic. That's how you can use the cayenne pepper. For a first aid remedy, you can sprinkle powdered cayenne on a wound if you cut yourself to stop the bleeding. You can rub cayenne infused oil on swollen joints, the back of your pain, the back for back pain, or apply over the womb area for menstrual cramps. You hear me? Men, it will help with menstrual cramps. During a heart attack or shock, place 1 teaspoon of dry powder on the tip of the tongue. So it could be used first aid. Sprinkle the powdered cayenne on a wound if you cut yourself to stop the bleeding. Rub cayenne infused oil. So you're going to get your oil base, and it could be lavender oil, it could be olive oil, but you're going to use an oil base. Rub you some cayenne in it and put it on your swollen joints, back pain. Apply over the wound area for menstrual cramps. And remember, during a heart attack or shock, place 1 teaspoon of dry powder on the tip of the tongue. And you can even scatter cayenne around your door and your property to break hexes and release you back to your power. Now, Believe me when I say, when you're spiritual, it does not mean you're hexing and throwing curses and voodoo and witchcraft and all of that. All of that is in its own places, and it has its place in our history. It has its place in our culture, and don't be afraid to use the power of the spirit. Okay, taking nothing away from your religious post. This is a supplemental post. But Cain, you can scatter it around your door or your property to break hexes and release you back to your power. As a plant of Ogun, Cain courageously strengthens the heart's voice and provides protection and vitality. Cayenne, it's an excellent introductory herb to use with people who do not use herbal medicine because it's accessible. Most homes have cayenne in your cabinet, in your spice cabinet, your spice rack. Pick up that cayenne, use that cayenne, and like I said, revert back to this. Come back and listen to this particular message. Share this message because it actually can help somebody. Okay, when you're looking at hawthorn, hawthorn is it's a wildflower, and hawthorn's flowers are open for a short time in May, but it is used to help open your heart. Hawthorn cautions us that protection is needed when we move through this world with an open heart. Hawthorn plants have huge thorns with sharp tips that wound the skin, reminding us to be present with our approach to our hearts and the hearts of others. You know, I had this conversation, and I think I just had this conversation with my husband about how it is that people don't often realize the atrocity of pain and then hurt that they bring to people when they do something to them, act a certain way. They do it so narcissistically that they don't even think about what what that reaction may be, what that lingering effect it may have, the impact it have on when you decide, when a person does something cruel or talk to you cruel, do something wrong, abuse you mentally, physically, whatever the case may be. That hurt resonates, and that hurt sometimes can get stuck in the wrong place. So if your heart is in a place of being stuck, hawthorn is an herb that's going to help you move beyond that. As a plant whose energy is ogon, it gives us courage and it fortifies our heart. So when you're thinking about hawthorn, it's native is in England and North America. It's a small tree with thorns and clusters of fragrant flowers that are white to pink and bloom in May, dark red berries that ripens in the fall. So it's sour, and it's in you always want to, like, so you want to get it and you want to drink it in a tea, and it's one of those favorite medicines for heartbreak, sadness. It helps us grieve and prepare our hearts for the energy of new love, bringing back the heart's passion. So we want that, once again, that head and heart balance, because our head will have us hull over heels in love, and then boom, when the love breaks, and then you have that heartache. But hawthorn can be the balance of all of that. Hawthorn can be the balance of all of that. Hey, Toothless Tiger, so glad to see you this evening. Yes, I must have that stick to itiveness. I realized my purpose, and I realized my passion, and I realized how important it was for me to stand up each and every day, which is one of the reasons I wanted to share the value of how I've been able to capsulate the herbs, and it's making a difference in my body. Um, so once again, that hawthorn, you might want to pick that up, and garlic. Garlic is one of those things we have in our cabinets, and we eat it all the time. But how many of you know with garlic, its best benefit comes when you're eating it raw. Once you cook the garlic, it loses its medicinal properties. Hear me and hear me well. Once you use that garlic, if you cook that garlic, it becomes less beneficial. It's good to just eat the raw garlic, one clove 3 times a day. And you can, like garlic vinegar, garlic honey, or whatever. But garlic 3 times a day, one clove 3 times a day will help that heart. Garlic is that strong medicine with strong lingering aroma, and it helps shield us from emotional vampires. That's right. It actually protects our energy and repels harmful energy that may be coming to. See, you may not understand out there tonight that energies are prevalent. Energies are out there. Thanks, Toothless Tiger. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's the herbs. It's the herbs that's giving me my radiance. I have been on them, and I am loving every minute of it. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you this morning. With this evening, so that we can feel just how awesome it is that we can make something happen, that we can shift, we can make that shift. And as I said, many of you don't believe people really do PREY. PREY. They say they're going to pray for you, but they PREY on you. And a lot of people, just because you smile, they don't like the fact that you're smiling because they want to stay in their own little grumpy world. But here's the deal: because you smile, they may decide they want to throw some dark shade on you. People do that. There are things that happen because there's hoodoo and there's voodoo. And when dark magic is cast, it happens, but you just have to be prepared, conditioned up. And and the thing about it is, the Most High has us favored. We're walking in favor. We're walking in every bit of abundance that we need to make it. However, sometimes in this systemic world that we live in, we sometimes can get convoluted with distractions and dysfunctions. So garlic is a great herb to help us get rid of all the energies that's bringing us down, and get rid of all the harmful energies that's blocking our money, blocking our passion, blocking our opportunities for growth professionally and personally. There are things that's been put in our way, but garlic is one of those herbs that can help us do it. So let's remember that garlic is excellent for treating blood impurities, and it moves stagnation. It's dry, it's spicy, it's hot, but it works. So remember, we can't cook it though. We have to consume it raw. And the dosage is one clove 3 times a day. And we have to make it either into a tea, into a tea, or just consuming it with our foods, just chopping it up in our salads. We have to find a way to consume that garlic, one clove, 3 times a day. So, what are we telling ourselves? What are we telling ourselves? What does my heart want to eat today? What does my heart want to eat today? What does my heart want to wear today? What does my heart want to go? Okay, I'll see you later. I'll be joining you shortly. Thank you, Toothless. Yes, thank you so much. Toothless Tiger, she's at 7:30 on YouTube. So when you leave my channel, going over to her, she has a great show, always lots of great knowledge. You want to know who you are. You want to know your melanin lineage, and how you got here, all that great stuff. Toothless Tiger is the one. Look her up. Toothless Tiger, she is on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, Toothless. But yes, and as I'm wrapping up my session tonight, I just really wanted you all to understand the importance of healing our hearts, getting our hearts to a place to where our chakra can be in balance. whenever I hear of a broken heart, it just kind of does something to me. So I found a heart oil to heal. So the recipe, it's the four chakra heart oil, and it's great for self love. Um, this this particular one of these that I'm wearing. This is a self love um, bracelet that is part of the healing chakra of the heart. So it helps us get back to ourselves, get our heart into place. So you use dried plant material when making herbal oils to prevent molding and bacteria. So I'm going to give you a quick heart oil. And like I said, I want you to come back to this video, watch this video, share with some others, okay? So you're going to take 1/4 cup of dried roses. Once again, dried, that's the operative word. 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of crushed cinnamon stick, 1 teaspoon of dried ginger root, 3/4 cup of sunflower or olive oil, rose essential oil. And this will yield and make 6 ounces of oil. You're going to add the roses, rosemary, cinnamon, and ginger root to a completely dry, wide mouth mason jar. So you're going to use a mason jar. Cover the plant material with the sunflower oil. Label your jar and set it in your sunniest window for 4 to 6 weeks. After that time, using a cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer, strain off the plant material, retain the oil, and discard the plants, or add it to a bath or foot bath. I like to do that. Place 60 to 100 drops of the oil into a 6-ounce bottle. Add the drops of the rose essential oil to your liking. Shake well and label your bottle. When preserved with essential oil, the shelf life of this oil is 6 months. Please store in a cool, dry place outside of direct sunlight. Use as much oil as you need to anoint your heart. This oil is a good breast chest massage oil. Our breast chest sits right under our hearts and connects to any emotions that's held there. Finding your heart is the best thing to do. We have it, but a lot of times we've lost it along the way. As a child, you may have had to harden in order to survive, not knowing what was before you, and then us, as adults, we still having to realize over time our closed heart shows up in our bodies. And as adults, it's up to us to connect with, heal, and build a courageous and resilient heart. Healing work opens a closed heart and encourages reconnection. So remember that this heart is our path to a life of energy. It makes us act. And when we consume the garlic, the cayenne, we consume the hawthorn, it gives us energy to move into action. So I want to say tonight, heal your heart. There are plants that can help you heal your heart. And when your heart is healed, it can help you heal the rest of your body because it attaches to all the other organs. Remember, 60,000 miles of blood vessels flow through our body and it comes right back to the heart. 60,000, it comes right back to the heart. So what are you bringing back to your heart? Are you bringing sadness, gloom, disillusion, depression, lack of self-worth? Are you bringing all of that to your heart? And then it weighs the heart down heavier. The heart has no oxygen to breathe. It just all of that. So here's something. Let's try this, okay? Let's try the cayenne pepper. Let's try the cayenne. Put you some cayenne pepper and stir it in your juice, your tea, your food. Put it in your food, whatever. Try it. I've drank cayenne pepper when I have the colds and things, and to helps to bring the excuse me, bring all that element out. So let's try the cayenne pepper and let's put it in our teas. Let's um like I said, if you're spiritual like I am, if hey, scatter some in front of your door, in front of your house. I mean, see, just try it, see if it works, and see if things change. See if the energy in your home change. See if the frequencies change. See if the argument stops. See if the money flow begins to come through. Just try it out. Try it out. But once again, I'm putting this disclaimer. I'm not saying that you do this instead of medicine. I'm choosing to do this because I'm doing my research along with it. Check with your practitioner, get your team together, but look at a healthier heart using plants. Cayenne pepper, like I said, get that cayenne pepper, put it in, get your heart tonic, get cayenne pepper, put your little apple cider vinegar. That's your heart tonic. Do that. Remember hawthorn, you can get it, make teas out of it, and it's going to help you from sadness and woeing, and it's going to bring back that energy of love. Don't forget to get that garlic. Remember, with garlic, you have to consume it raw. You must use garlic raw. It loses its medicinal properties when cooked. So you can make bruschetta, that spread. You can make garlic vinegar, you can make garlic honey, or salad dressing. And the standard dosage, of course, it's 1 clove 3 times a day. Let's figure out a way that we can get these plants into our body. And once again, the chakra oil. The chakra oil, 1/2 cup of dried roses, 1 tablespoon dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of crushed cinnamon stick, 1 teaspoon of dried ginger root, 3/4 cup of sunflower or olive oil, rose essential oil. This will yield 6 ounces. You're going to add the roses, rosemary, cinnamon, and ginger root to a completely dry mason jar. And remember, everything has to be dry to avoid the mold. Once you do that, you cover the plant material with sunflower oil. You put that oil, you label your jar, set it in the sunniest window for 4 to 6 weeks. After that time, you take your cheesecloth, you strain it, you retain the oil, discard the plants. What I like to do sometimes is bathe in my rose petals. And then you're going to put that oil into your bottle and add the drops of rose essential oil to your liking. Shake well, store it in a cool, dry place. If you have the rose essential oil, the life shelf of that oil is 6 months. Use as much as you need to anoint your heart. This oil is good to connect your breast, your chest, as a massage oil. And remember, your breast, it sits right over your heart and it connects to those emotions that's held there. So use that, make that chakra oil, use it, share it. But once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining in tonight. And for anyone that was not able to tune in, or you come in later, please share, like, and share. Share the video. Share this with someone. Let someone know how important it is that they hear the message of the heart. The spirit of the heart matters. The spirit of the heart matters. Okay. So let's get to moving. Let's get that garlic in our system. Let's get that hawthorn. And you can find this at most of your grocery stores. You can find it a lot of times in the Asian grocery stores. You can find it a lot of times in the Hispanic grocery stores, because they do value a lot of the herbs that are not sold in our conventional grocery stores. So remember, let's start the healing process. And I don't mean for New Year's resolution. I'm talking about what we do today. It's what we're doing for the rest of our lives. Now is the time. Now is the time that you have to hold steadfast to the faith and to the power and to the confidence of your faith, the confidence of your power. Use it, execute it, and feel darn good in what the result may be. Because I feel good. I feel good. Um, like I said, I've been transitioning using plants more than I have been using medicine. Don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to try something you've never tried before. It just may be what you need. Love yourself, love somebody, and always be conscious about how it is that you treat somebody else because it often affects the heart. And then there has to be the heart building all over again. So be a part of the heart healing, be a part of the heart building. Love someone like you were loving yourself. Love someone as if it was your mother, your sister, your brother, your father. Love someone with the passion of knowing that you've given your all and your all is going to come back to you. Because what we said, 60,000 miles of blood flowing through your body that flows right back to the heart. Make sure that your giving is something that's good to the heart. Make somebody's day. Don't make somebody pay. Don't make somebody upset and all that crazy stuff. Don't do stuff just to get people's feathers rustled. Don't do stuff just because you can do it. Now is the time. Let's be conscious about doing the better good and be a part of the heart building and be a part of the heart healing. Hey, this has been Carolyn Jones with Chance of a Lifetime Coaching. This has been Conversations with Carolyn, and I am so glad that you all have been with me tonight. I'm glad that you are here tonight, and I trust that tonight has been a good night. All right, my Cash App, it's $ Carolyn M. Jones. Cash App, $ Carolyn M. Jones. Hey, I thank you for all your support. I thank you for what you do for me. I thank you for listening. And like I said, show somebody, share with somebody. Let somebody know your heart matters. Heal it. And plants can do it just for you. Let's get that garlic. Let's get that hawthorn. Let's get that cayenne pepper. Strength, courage, and wisdom. It's India Irie. And then she says, it's been here all along. Step out on it. Carolyn Jones saying good evening. Have a great one. Let's go heal our hearts. Bye-bye.